Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. It is time for another My College Days discussion. So it is going to be very late that I'm getting to this. So it was a very busy day today. Unfortunately, I did have to work another Sunday at Hampton Inn and Suites from 8 to 4, and then I left from there for Florence. And then I took Katie out for dinner. Well, we both treated ourselves to dinner. And then we came back, and I ended up leaving close to 10 o'clock. Came back here, spent some time with my roommate, and I'm finally getting around to this just to go to sleep and try to get some sleep before work again tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, fun, but tomorrow's my last opening shift for the remainder of the week, too. So, got to try to look at it that way. So, anyway, needless to say, I am happy to say, I don't know how many people are going to be happy about this or not, but today is my last Sunday for over a month now, doing my college days on a Sunday, because starting next Sunday, I'm going to be doing fall festivals on Sundays on a weekly basis for the next month. Now, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be uploading everything on a consistent basis. I mean, not consistent basis, but at a consistent time, just because some events start later in the day, some start earlier in the day, and then of course seem to have to work like almost every single Sunday, and I seem to work mostly Sunday mornings. So as long as I keep that up, I will be able to keep doing these vlogs every single Sunday in the evenings. Next Sunday, I did have to request a day off, not just because I am serving at church in the morning, but because I'm spending the afternoon and evening with Katie. So, yeah, that'll be quite interesting. So, anyway, moving on to tonight's discussion. So, tonight I wanted to discuss with you guys more or less what it was like taking actual college level classes. But before I do that, let me go clean my glasses because they're a little dirty. Wow, that is a lot better already. So yeah, I wanted to discuss with you guys tonight um, what it was like for me to take those actual college level classes. So once I got through those remedial classes, I was finally able to sign up for college level classes. Imagine the amount of excitement in my voice when I finally heard that I was going to be paying for actual college level classes and not just classes that are going to mean diddly squat. So, as far as how was I even able to afford classes in the first place? Excellent question. Two excellent answers. First of all, my mom's father, who unfortunately is no longer around as of 7 years ago, had saved up thousands of dollars and had basically given all the grandkids, I was one of them, uh, some money every single year for college. So what I did was that, like during the fall, when he would send me that money, I would go ahead and pay for the spring semester with his money, and then I would save the rest of it in my savings account. And then once I was done with the spring semester, I would go ahead and reimburse, or I would send the money into the public tuition reimbursement program. Yes, I had joined it and I got accepted. I was very happy about it. It was a special program that they had started, and as far as I know, they still do it. And they would more or less reimburse me a good chunk of the total cost of my classes. And if that wasn't enough, I was, really smart. So I found out while I was taking classes that I was allowed to add on the numbers for all of my college classes for the year. So every single year, I would add up all of my how much money I was spend on all of my college classes, whether I was paying for them or somebody else. And because they were still coming out of my bank account, it still counted. And then the IRS would send me a refund, and then I would put that towards college classes as well. So what this is what I called thinking ahead. So and using my resources. So what I did was not only did I use my grandfather's money once a year, but I also used money from the tuition reimbursement program, and I also used money from the IRS. I always made sure that I always had some kind of money just sitting around waiting to put towards college. And I just kept doing that and kept doing that. How do you think I got my associate's degree? It wasn't an overnight process. It took me years of hard work, but guess what? It's in my closet right now, and I could show you if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. But if you want to call me a liar, well, I might have to pull it out sometime and say, there you go. I swear, if I read one comment that says you're a liar until I see it, I will pull it out in the next vlog. So I mark my words on that one. But yeah, it was a very interesting time, and my college level classes got way more interesting from there. I'm gonna have some water really quick. Make that entire water bottle. Wow, I needed that. And sometimes I can do that. Believe it or not. You know you're thirsty when. And in all honesty though, I was at Golden Corral earlier, and my waitress was so busy she only had time to check on me like once, and I was taking my time drinking my water because I was starving too. And then by the time I actually did need water, she didn't even bring me more water. So yeah, it was a really weird time because I'm taking all these college level classes. My very first college level classes that I distinctly remember signing myself up for was environmental science. Actually, hold on. I gotta think back here. I started taking college classes. Okay, I'm jumping. Yeah, it was 2016. So it was August of 2016. I took. I don't think it was environmental science necessarily. I gotta think about it. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think it was. Now that I think about it, so I was taking environmental science at the time, and I remember I was taking this reading class too. So the environmental science class was held twice a week. It was held on Mondays and Wednesdays, and um, on Wednesdays we always had a lab immediately after class. So Mondays were easy days. I would go from the literature class to the environmental science class. The environmental science class was always held at another campus that is no longer used, and it was further. It was on Highway 60, versus the other college class was at whatever you call it again, the Central Avenue location, which was in downtown Lake Wales. Either way, both were about 5 minutes away from home. So the day that was really interesting to me was Wednesday, August 22nd, 2016. If the DeLorean were real, I'd totally go back to this date just to prevent this car accident from happening. It happened at 10:14 in the morning on the dot. I remember that distinctly. I had gotten done with class, and it was my very first class for the week on a Wednesday. I had some time. Since we were all so new to the class, we hadn't come up with the whole system of meeting at Bill's Cafe in downtown Lake Wales, eating breakfast there, and then all relocating at this other campus. So more or less what ended up happening was I got done with the reading class, and I decided, well, I'm going to go home and have some breakfast, but first I'm going to stop and get gas for the car. But there really are no gas stations between this college class campus and my parents' house if I go through downtown Lake Wales. But I did know that I was going to pass by a racetrack if I took Highway 60. And everybody that knows me should know how much I like racetrack. For those of you who do not know me, I am originally from Central Florida. If you still have been part of the YouTube series this long, or been part of my YouTube series, let alone my YouTube video this long, um, I am in the process of discussing a brand new topic that I'm doing over the fall called My College Days. I lived in Central Florida until I was 25 years old, or for those of you who do not know, 2019. I am now 30, going 31 in November, and I've been living here in Kentucky ever since. I am currently residing in Dry Ridge up until next year before I get married, and then I'm moving again and with my new wife. So, exciting times, but that it's here or there, and that will catch you guys up from there. So anyway, I'm just driving along. I had only gotten as far as this Publix that just happened to be right there on Highway 60. So, for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, Highway 60 runs from Vero Beach all the way down to Clearwater, Florida. So, Vero Beach is in Florida, Clearwater is in Florida, Vero Beach is on the east side, Clearwater is on the west side. And then you got Highway 27, aka the Highway to Hell, that runs north to south. So, runs straight down the dead center of Florida, just running up and down, perpendicular. And then you got I-4 that also runs from Clearwater, Florida, all the way down to Daytona Beach. And that is another major interstate. So, yeah. And I'm driving down by this Publix, and, I saw this semi truck on the other side, and I didn't think much about it at the time. I was just kind of caught my eye, and I think that was God trying to tell me something personally. And next thing I know, I see this white car turning right in front of me. Now, keep in mind, I was at the time driving a ruby red Ford Focus. I wasn't driving the black SUV I'm driving right now. And I saw this car in front of me. I slammed on my brake as hard as I could. An ex Tampa police officer was on the opposite side and saw the entire thing, even saw the lady that intentionally ran the yellow light. Or the red light, whatever it was. I don't remember now. I think it was a red light. And he saw my car slamming in the brakes so hard that my car did a nosedive. Now, I was smart that, I wasn't that smart at the time. I made the mistake of calling 911 after I got out of the car. I've learned my lesson the hard way ever since to call 911 before getting out of the car, no matter what. And this is exactly why. I got out of the car, I called 911. She called up her car insurance, not mentioning the name, and she lied to them that I was at fault. Her car insurance obviously took her side, and everything went into arbitration. My parents didn't get the money back from their car insurance for over a year, $500. That was ridiculous. My dad ended up having to come get me, and I ended up having the car towed. Never got to stop and get gas like I wanted to. And my dad ended up having to let me borrow his car. Thank God he was home. Thank God. I don't know what I would have done. I was so shaken up. It was 8 years ago. I didn't know what to do. I was 22 years old. And I literally end up going to my next class after getting into a major accident like that. And I haven't been in a major one ever since. Not anything that extreme, anyway. And I really did a good job hiding it because only a couple of people actually figured out that I was in a car accident. Only because I told them, but otherwise nobody knew because I hid it so well. Because I was thinking to myself, it's the first day of class. I don't want people knowing that one of their classmates just got into a car accident right before class. The professor was so nice. Like there was one day that she came up with this idea to take us down to this one school that was further down, 27, and we worked with the kids, and we all collected dirt samples together. And she was just getting along so well with the kids. And even on my graduation day, I was heading to my seat, and she just happened to see me, and she ran over and gave me a big hug. I was like, oh. I only missed her class one day for a the Jimmy Fallon Race to New York ride opening, but I emailed her in advance and let her know I couldn't make it. Otherwise, I was always there. I always had A's in her class. I was one of her favorite students, and I was always on it. That made me really happy, just knowing that all my hard work paid off. Just for her to, hug me and tell me how proud she was of me. I was like, yes. So anyway, that was that teacher, and then the reading teacher was really nice. She was really easy to get along with, and she had this really strange obsession with Bob Newhart for whatever reason. Of course, he passed away within the past few years, but I always found that really odd about her. It's just like, why are you so obsessed? Like, is there a reason? I always found that amusing about her, and I took other classes. I was even in an African geography class that started at 7:30 in the morning. Once in a while I came in late, but there was one morning I came in a few minutes late, and when I mean late, I mean like within 5 minutes. And he actually stopped the entire class just asking me, "Is there a reason for you to be so late?" Like I don't remember his exact words, but he intentionally embarrassed me in front of the entire class. But get this, we ended up becoming friends on Facebook, and we ended up getting along really well. And he ended up being one of my favorite teachers, and I ended up being one of his favorite students. Even though he intentionally embarrassed me in front of the class, I still ended up calling him one of my favorite professors. I wouldn't say that about every professor, though. I had another professor that taught a psychology class, another college level class, and she and I just hit it off so well. She was always so funny. She liked to, tease me. I felt the same way about another Spanish professor. She always joked around I was her Spanish husband. She used to embarrass me at the college, and other kids found it hilarious. I found it hilarious. It was a great time. She and I just always hit it off well. I had this one professor in college I could not stand. I don't think he liked me either. I don't think he really liked anybody. He belittled everybody. If you turn in a paper to him, he balled it up in front of your face, threw it on the ground, and called it trash. I'm not going to name the professor. I'm not even going to say what he taught, but I'm really glad I only took his classes twice. I'm surprised I even took it that much. Only because he was teaching something that seemed interesting to me, but I couldn't stand him. It's like, love the class, couldn't stand the professor. The professor that interested me the most, that taught a college level class, was a U.S. history professor. Very knowledgeable guy. Definitely very informative classes, knew what he was doing. Very good public speaker, but never understood his reasons for giving us open book tests every single time. But yet, I knew enough information I easily could have done a closed book test. And then he always liked to talk about his alcohol obsession, and because he just happened to shop at the Publix I was working at the time, I would see him when I was working, and he would stick to his word. He slammed that case of beer down, and he would wait to be rung up right at 12 o'clock on the dot, just like he always preached during class. And it just made it really awkward knowing that one of my professors was one of my customers. I was like, oh, this is just great. And, that's just, something you always want to know about. And that's not something I usually talk about, but, I'm doing a YouTube video now, so it's okay now. Anyway, I've had quite a few professors over the years that were very interesting, and I guess the best word is they all had their own characteristics, if that makes any sense. And each of them had their own stories to tell. Each of them had their own unique personality. Each of them, especially the history one, would give this like false facade during class, but then they'd be this like completely different person. Like even the history professor, he was always nice to me during class, and then he pretended I didn't exist outside of class, and I was like, really, dude? And yet you act like I'm one of your best students, but then you see me at work and you're just like, hi. And that's all I get out of you, and I'm just like, wow. And I'm like, I'm one of your customers, but I can't be rude to you because you have every right to go to Publix corporate and go, this employee is being rude to me. So I just like, I'll tell you guys this right now. Something I learned about working in Polk County, Florida is, and this honestly can apply to any small county, try to stay out of working in that county because you're going to bump into your teachers, you're going to bump into your professors, you're going to bump into former classmates, you're going to bump into exes, you're going to bump into old friends, you're even going to bump into people that pretend to be your friend, you're even going to bump into people who are, want to be there for you when it's convenient for them, you name it. And it's just so awkward. I would even probably bump into Laura Moore, who I thought was my friend, but was actually just pretending to be my friend just so she wouldn't be bored at work. And that was just wrong. And the problem is some people just don't care, and I'm just like, you know what, just forget it. I can promise you this right now. If I met any of those people that pretend to be my friend back then, and they, turn around after the fact and said, "Oh, I was never your friend," I would say, "Well, the next time I see you out in public, I'm going to still be nice to you, but don't expect anything else from me." And they would say, "Good, I don't care," and I'm going to say, "Well, fine." It's like I made the mistake of trying to be nice to you in the first place. Or I made the mistake of trying to be your friend in the first place. I never should have done that. And I really pray and hope that God will call you out on that in the future. And they would probably say something nasty to me. And then I would say, okay. I would try to put them in their place, but at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they want, whether I like it or not. And they might live in this false reality where they're more popular than me, but they don't know. So, yes, my YouTube channel could be better, but outside of YouTube, I'm still very popular. But I do want to get up there, and that's why I'm really trying. I've been telling TJ. Or, well, not really telling TJ, but reminding him, if I didn't have a religious name on my YouTube channel, I can guarantee that I would have a lot more subscribers. Now, granted, my college did not have a lot of religious classes. I mean, I did take, the odd one here or there. I did take a world religion class. I don't remember the other religious class I took. I took like two different, that's all I remember. I took a couple of other summer classes that were quite interesting as well. Those were probably some of my favorites by far. And those were all college level. But, outside of the whole college level thing, I just really wanted to mention to you guys the biggest reason why I'm going to keep the theme park evangelist name until God calls me to change it otherwise is, and I made this very obvious to TJ, the purpose of my YouTube channel is, yes, to entertain guests with Disney and Universal and Legoland and Kings Island and whatever. But the point of also my YouTube channel is to point people towards God. And I understand there are so many of you, even those of you who have just clicked on my YouTube channel for the very first time, and for all I know, you may not even care about God whatsoever. And that's fine. You don't have to watch my channel. You don't even have to watch any of the religious content, because of the fact that there are going to be times when I do YouTube videos that barely even mention the word God in it. You're still going to hear from me because I'm a Christian YouTuber, and if you can tolerate a little bit of it, then go for it. But otherwise, go find somebody like TJ who is not religious whatsoever and posts or talks about what you want to hear. I'm going to talk about what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear. And that's why people don't always necessarily like me. That's why my subscriber content is low. Basically, my point is I'm going to talk about what people want to hear, but at the end of the day, I am going to preach God's word, because that is what Matthew 20:19 through 20 commands. That I go out into the world, even if I use the technology of YouTube and my webcam or my phone camera, just to spread God's good news and try to help people understand that there is a higher power out there, and his name is God, and he is the one and only way to heaven. And you cannot go to heaven, you cannot go through to the Father except through Jesus Christ, his son. That's all there is to it. And I'm not just saying that because it's in the Bible. It's because I made that life-changing decision when I was 7 years old. I thought it was 8, but it was 7. Because I made that life-changing decision before 9/11 even happened, and I was 7 years old at the time. So, the conclusion of my vlog is, college level classes, there were some really good, some really bad, some that were excellent, professors sucked, some that just required so much work. Some of these professors, they would require essays, and I spent an entire month typing them and working on them just to get that A. But you know what? At the end of the day, when I finally got my associate's degree from Eastern Gateway Community College, it made it so worthwhile. Which brings me to my next topic. And this one's going to really throw you guys off. Why did I return to Polk State College in 2019? Or 2018, really. So, to help clarify, I did unofficially graduate in 2017, but I came back again in 2018. That is going to be answered next Wednesday. No, not next. Let me think about that. Yeah, next Wednesday. Starting next Wednesday, at some point, I'm going to answer why I went back to Polk State College to take more classes in 2018 through 2019, and then why I even went back again in 2021 through 2022. So make sure you don't miss my college days starting next Wednesday from this point forward, so you can learn more. In the meantime, I will see you guys tomorrow night, Lord willing. Worst case scenario, Tuesday morning. I know it's going to sound weird, but I am going in later on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So if I'm too tired for whatever reason tomorrow night, aka Monday night, then I'm going to just go ahead and push off my History of the Theme Park Evangelist YouTube video till Tuesday. And then I will also see you guys on Wednesday and even Thursday this week. So this week I'm doing an additional vlog on Thursday, and then Saturday is going to be my Halloween haunt vlog. So always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.